Coming to you live from my apartment. It's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's a guy who never dreams about food. I am Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rob Has a Podcast. It's the feedback show here for episode number 8 of Survivor 43. And this season of Survivor, it's all over the place. Some would even say that it's a mess. And of course, there is only one of two people qualified to break down a messy situation such as this. Please welcome in not only the co-host of the Mess Magnets Pop Culture Recap here on Rob Has a Podcast, but also one of my co-hosts on the Real Love Boat Recap. Please welcome in the great Kirsten MacInnis. Kirsten, how are you?
I'm so good, Rob. I'm just a ship looking for safe harbor, and I landed here. Couldn't be happier. So excited.
Okay. Kirsten, how are you? And welcome to the Survivor Feedback Show.
I'm doing great, Rob. It's the start of a long weekend for me. Got to watch Survivor 2 times, get to talk to you. How could I be better?
Yep. Let's answer some quick feedback questions. This is the feedback show. First question we have from the chat. This is Geist1124. Is this the Christian one? No.
Well,
no, this is not.
I mean, if you want to get technical, the direct definition of my name is Christian.
Yeah.
It's just a different language. So kind of.
Okay. All right. So I just want to show this is an interactive show. Okay. We can take your questions here live. You can also send us in a voicemail, rob@website.com/a voicemail for that. We've got some questions from the Rob Has a Podcast Facebook group as well, and plenty of fun stuff to talk about. I did speak with Dr. Christian Hubicki on Thursday night. 3 hours of basically like state of Survivor 43 recap material with Christian. So go back and take a listen to that. Christian, just one of the best podcast guests there is to come in and talk about a Survivor season, not to mention the know-it-alls and my exit interview with Janine from this week. Kirsten, how are you doing?
I'm good. You have asked me like 3 times. Are you concerned that I'm not good?
No, what's new? What's going on?
Well, you know, Mess Magnets has been a lot of fun. We've been talking the Real Love Boat. I'm over on BoJack Horsepaw talking Tuca and Birdie. I spend a lot of my time just in this little square, which is why it's really bad that I still haven't gotten a backdrop, but I just don't know what to put there yet.
Yes.
Do you have ideas for that?
Yes. Have you considered having Cody and Sammy come in and paint a mural behind you?
You know, I don't know if I'm comfortable with them knowing my home address, but maybe if they put it on like cardstock and sent it to me, I can put it up.
Yeah. I mean, why don't we jump in? Because this is something that I've wanted to talk about all week. And I thought that this was more of, you know, sometimes like there's parts of the Survivor episode that I have things to say. And I say, you know what? That's feedback show. I'm saving this. And I want to talk about, I even tweeted this on Wednesday night. So many questions about the name of the boat, and you and I talk about the Real Love Boat, which I think that the name of the Real Love Boat is the Real Love Boat, right?
I think it's a Princess cruise ship, isn't it? So it's got to be like SS something.
SS something. What is the name of the Real Love Boat?
I'm looking.
Yeah, that's like a trivia question.
Regal Princess.
Regal Princess. Okay, all right. And I'll find out who the real Regal Princess is.
It's Ezra, obviously. Come on.
Yes. Okay. So, I guess there was a point where Sammy and Cody were in charge of naming the boat this week, and so they had to work on it, and it ultimately became the name of the episode. Okay. And it was this.
I think I go blue and they put red on the outline if it ain't cool enough. Preposterous. P-R-O.
Let me
It was preposterous, but it was preposterous.
I mean, they don't have a dictionary with them. I don't expect Cody to know every word and how to spell it. They were close enough.
Yeah. Now, I kind of thought preposterous was kind of like a happy accident of like, hey, we're not preposterous. We're preposterous. That this is like we're so preposterous that, and we're also very positive. We're preposterous.
Oh, I took it as like they're professionally preposterous.
Definitely preposterous.
Preposterous does not sound like a word anymore, for the record. It's been said too many times in a short
They're
period.
professionally posterous.
What does that even mean? Oh man. I feel like a real dummy here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, a hot dummy on an island.
I do live on an island, so yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I was just wondering. Okay. So we have this boat. That it says preposterous, and then what does it say underneath it?
If you think I can read,
live to be radical. I think it also said.
Yeah, live radically or live to be
radical.
Shouldn't it say like live in
radically? To be radical. Now, is radical back, or is Cody bringing radical back?
I think that there are many aspects of Cody that are maybe stuck in the past a little bit.
Yeah.
His hair, for example, his use of the word radical.
Yeah. I guess there are radicals that are out there.
Actually, you are right. There are many radicals.
I guess they are back. They are back.
I was thinking of more like when you'd be like, that's radical, not like far to the edges of the political spectrum.
Yeah. A lot of them are anti-posterous.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah. Okay. So preposterous, Kirsten, it got me thinking about, are there other words with the prefix or the profix that maybe could also be punched up?
Okay.
Cody style. For instance,
let's do it.
Should the Survivor preseason be rebranded the Pro Season?
Maybe only on returnee seasons.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like that the evolution is that the only people that are really paying attention in the preseason are the people who are the Survivor fan pros. If you are paying attention to the preseason, forget the preseason. It's the pro season.
It's the pro season for Mike Bloom. That's for damn sure. Does this also work with words that start with pro? Could we change them to start with pre?
I think that we can deactivate some of those words. Pro. Give me some pro words. Let's talk about some pro words and some pre words.
Pronate.
A pronate.
I guess when you turn like your limbs, I don't know.
Okay, I was gonna say that sounds like something that you would go see Dr. Mike if you have a pronate.
Oh my god, yeah, maybe. But would you go see Dr. Mike for a prenate? I don't think so. I guess prenatal is already a thing.
If you're having like an early, I guess really before your prenatal, you go see Dr. Mike. Typically, if you're having problems in that area.
So then prenatal would become pronatal.
Pronatal, because that you want to be dealing with the experts. That's right.
Always.
That's right. Now somebody that didn't make the jury, could they be a pro merger?
I don't think that they are pro the merge in that situation.
They're more anti-mergers.
Yeah, they're anti-mergers.
Maybe that should be an anti-merger instead of a pre-merger. Would you rather be pre-merge or anti-merge?
Well, they mean the same thing, and I'd rather be dateable, Rob. So no, thank you.
Okay. So yeah, I think that there's lots of things that we could talk about. Changing the pre to the pro. Just something. Yeah.
Doomstripe says pro-mature.
Pro. Yeah. I think I'd rather be. I'd rather be pro-mature than premature.
100%.
So maybe this is that Cody and Sammy stumbled onto something. Now they had one goal with creating the boat, Kirsten.
Of course.
It's gonna be dope, bro. I just want it to look sick as hell.
Yeah, it's got to be sick as hell.
It's got to be sick as hell.
It's got to be sick as hell.
It's got to be. Yeah.
Why does he sound like a gremlin, though?
Now, the gremlin from the movies? Because they actually didn't speak, I don't think.
No, not the gremlins from the movies. Like my perception of a gremlin.
Yes. Like I think one of the gremlins did speak. His name was Spike. And I think he's like, Gizmo. Like he did speak a little bit.
And doesn't that sound like Cody to you?
Mm-hmm.
Not dissimilar.
But, when you're painting the boat, it's got to be sick as hell.
Gotta be. I mean, what is the point of doing anything if it's not going to be sick as hell or super dope?
Yep. This is what me and Kirsten said before this podcast.
It's gonna be dope, bro. I just want it to look sick as hell.
Yeah, it's gotta be sick as hell.
It's this podcast let's just say it right up front. This podcast has got to be sick as hell.
It's gonna be super dope, everyone.
Yeah. Okay. All right, here. Let me just. I'm gonna tweet this out. Okay, that we're putting this live on Twitter, and then I'm gonna say that this podcast is gonna be sick as hell.
I love
just get people fired up.
Yeah, I love tweets during the podcast. I feel like there's people that can't watch live, and they're not feeling good about that. And when they see your tweet, they're either going to feel even worse that they're missing it, or it'll make them feel better. Like, at least when I get home later, I can listen to a podcast that's going to be sick as hell.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people last 2 years said, you know what, I'm going to go out of my way to not be sick as hell.
Yeah. Many people would like to stay at least 6 feet away from being sick as hell. I personally, my experience with hell is not good, so I don't know if this is a good thing, but
yeah. Okay, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. Can I give you another Codyism?
Please.
Here right off the bat?
If this was all Codyisms, I'd be in.
Okay, good. Cody said something else in the episode that I thought was very interesting. He talked about how wild the last vote was.
Last tribal was really crazy. People were running around the beach like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Were people running around the beach like Jean-Claude Van Damme?
How exactly does Jean-Claude Van Damme run? I feel like I am not familiar with his work, but I don't think it's how they have been playing Survivor here.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme, I guess he does do punching and kicking, but I do also see him as like moving very slow.
Yeah, I feel like it's like that slow motion thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's current Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well, I think currently he's probably moving a lot slower than he was in his prime. So I guess that is the question. How old of Jean-Claude Van Damme are the players running like?
Yeah. Because I just think that Jean-Claude Van Damme would not be a hustler. Maybe, I guess he's a hero.
I mean, is he a hero? I think he's a healer because art is really important for the soul.
Yeah, I guess he did heal a lot of things in the 90s. All right, so I've got a lot of sound clips today. We'll get back to that in a little bit, but I guess let's just talk a little bit more about, because people they want some real analysis. This is the feedback show. Okay?
Yeah, and this is famously the podcast with the most real analysis.
We gotta be serious. Okay, let me just see
Kate, you can't tell me I have to be. You already talked to Steven and Christian this week. Like, you don't need serious. It's fine.
Okay. Also, R.I.P. Gallagher. Also, this week. It's been a tough week.
It's been a tough week. I did see that tweet and I thought, how is that related to Survivor 43? But very sorry to very, very sorry to see him.
What tweet did you see?
Someone tweeted to us being like, you asked if people had questions, and one of the responses was like, here's Gallagher died. And I was like, I don't know how to address that.
Well, the legendary comedian Gallagher did pass away, that we found out today. And of course, best known in RHAP for his appearance in Celebrity Big Brother 2. I did get a text from Eric Stein today to mourn that the loss of Gallagher. And of course, that he gave us this great moment.
Yes. What a life you lead here in the Big Brother house.
Yeah.
Iconic.
R.I.P. Gallagher. Okay. Kirsten, let's talk a little bit. I know you want to talk about the big moment this week that everybody's talking about, that Survivor did. What a life we lead out here on the Survivor 43 streets, where Survivor is surprising us with exciting and new treats in the editing room.
Yeah, it's always exciting and new. All they want to do is surprise us. And so there's been a lot of capital D discourse about Jesse having Janine's idol. And first of all, I love it. I
You
love that
loved
this
it.
happened. I feel like for a long time, I have thought that knowledge of political science would be very useful in a game like Survivor, as someone with a political science degree. Not a PhD, but I feel like it is knowledge that'd be useful. And I think,
Have you
like,
found it to be useful in your analysis of these shows?
I guess it would be up to the people who listen if they think my analysis is good. Because it kind of is the lens through which I view pretty much everything, which I think is probably why I'm annoying, but Jesse doesn't have that problem.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think they wanted to surprise us, first of all, is why we did not see it last week. But I also think that these two episodes are maybe supposed to go together as like a larger arc of like the downfall of Janine rather than, oh, this happened. Like, I feel like it just is like another nail in the coffin in this episode of like, wow, her idol's even still in the game and she doesn't even know.
Yeah. Kirsten, why did Janine need such a downfall? What
She didn't.
What did Janine do?
I mean, it was just mean. Like, she didn't need a downfall. Like, she had the worst run of luck of basically anyone I've seen in quite some time on one of these shows. She has a big, like, wound on her face the whole
Yeah.
season. Just a tough go for poor Janine. And they were like, you know what? Let's twist the knife. Let's really make her boot episode bad for her.
Yeah. Yeah, she had a tough run, especially in her real time. I think, is this all in the course of 72 hours that this has happened with Ellie and then losing her idol and then ultimately being voted out of the game?
70. Wouldn't it be?
So day 13, day 14. So I guess it would be what, 96 hours?
Yeah, I think it'd be more like 96 hours. But yeah, it's really been just boom, boom, boom. For someone who I feel like it didn't seem like she had no chance.
Probably
and
less
then,
than that, because I think she wakes up on day 13 and then that's when she goes to earn the merge. And then by the end of the day on day 16, it's probably about a bad, really rough 80 hours or so.
it moves too fast. There needs to be time to breathe. I guess that's why they're not showing us camp life, because they're not spending any time actually.
What
at
camp life?
Like they really are just going to challenges and tribal councils.
Yeah. So it really is, boom, boom, boom. And for Janine, this really was a very tough stretch. So you feel like that this was almost like a 2-part episode, a to be continued.
That's how it felt to me watching back, but I'm definitely open to that not being correct. It just, I don't know. And I also feel like them not showing it when it happened or not showing it when Jesse actually plays the idol could mean not as good things for him moving forward. But I don't know. I'm not like one of those edgic freaks. Like, I don't understand how it works.
So you bring up an interesting point about, could they, instead of showing us Jesse that he had was it like a half measure to show us here at the start of the episode, as opposed to if Jesse ultimately does play this idol during later on in the season, what would that reaction have been if we would have seen like where Jesse stands up and then we get the flashback to actually right before Dwight was going out of the game? This is what happened.
Yeah, I think that would make Jesse look a lot better. But I also think that it could be because obviously this idol's not getting rehidden, and so they need some sort of justification for why we're not seeing anyone find the next one, because it's not like these idols have been sitting unfound for a long time in recent seasons.
Yeah, because I don't know if I would necessarily start wondering like, hey, when are they going to hide another idol? I mean, there still are 2 in the game, but it does make sense about, that this is one of the reasons why there are not more idols in the game, that there are still 3. Yeah, that would be interesting. Kirsten, do we like that Survivor is going in this direction?
I don't love it, but I'm not that mad at it. I felt like it was a good reveal. And then when they did show the brief scene of Dwight giving the idol to Jesse, it kind of seemed like it was Dwight just like panicking and giving it to him. It didn't really seem like any greater machinations went into it.
Well, this was really just all part of this sad story for Janine. And we hear from her in the beginning of the episode because she describes how things are going from her perspective in the game.
Before tribal council, I'd given Dwight my idol to hold on to. I don't care if you put it in your crotch. Okay. That's the safest place.
Yeah. She said, Dwight, I'm going to give you my idol. And not just that, I'm going to give it to you. She demands, I need you to put it in your crotch because that's the safest place.
No, she didn't demand it. She said, I don't care if you put it in your crotch.
She said, I don't care.
That's the safest place.
If that's the safest. Okay, so that was, I give you consent to take my possession and put it in your no place.
Your pro place.
Yes. Yes. And let me hear that again. Okay.
Hold on to. I don't care if you put it in your crotch. Okay. That's the safest place.
Okay, that is the safest place to put it.
That's what I've heard. And then he can go, it's okay, Jeff, you don't have to touch it.
Yeah. Okay. And for Janine, that in hindsight, this is very, very sad.
And I'm like, I'm a freaking idiot and had my idol go home in Dwight's crotch.
Yeah.
She's absolutely Devo, and I would be too. Like, this is not a good vibe for poor Janine.
Now, maybe, Kirsten, is the joke on Jesse that he's walking around with Dwight's dirty crotch idol? Did Dwight get the last laugh?
He doesn't even know, because when Dwight gave it to him, he took it out of his bag. Oh my God. That is the ultimate blindside for Jesse.
Yeah. I mean, that if Jesse does play his idol, do you think that Janine will not be able to control herself and say, that was in Dwight's crotch? Do you know? That's supposed to be his crotch idol, the safest place.
Well, will it become Jesse's crotch idol? How many crotches will this idol encounter?
Oh my God. I mean, that's not hygienic.
I don't think anything's really hygienic on Survivor.
Yeah. Not ideal. Okay.
I feel like it's definitely not the advised personal hygiene for a human.
Yeah. Certainly not. Yeah. I think
we can all agree.
I want to talk a little bit about Dwight this week.
Oh my God. Okay? I can feel your blood pressure rising.
Dwight went on and did the exit press last week. And we talked about with Dwight about everything that went on from this episode. And I really thought like we had like a nice interview with Dwight. And we talked about what was going on with the crotch idol that ultimately went out of the game. And so not just myself, but Mike Bloom and Dalton Ross and, the Survivor press corps. And I brought up the tweet during Survivor Know-It-Alls that Dwight said, I did not lie. There was no lies were told in the game. To the exit interviewers.
So I guess what that means is we have to figure out, do lies of omission count? Because he definitely omitted information.
Okay.
But I don't think he really lied.
Let's talk this through. Okay. One thing I learned from my years of interviewing how to answer a question and dodge a question at the same time to the Survivor exit press interviewers, I didn't say anything that isn't true. So, Kirsten,
That's true.
You've done exit interviews.
Oh,
Did
yes,
you do
I have.
Did you? No, well, I'm saying that as an interviewer.
Oh my
Did you
goodness.
did you do exit interviews as a interviewee?
No, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't.
Okay.
I've only been the interviewer.
Only
I
been
think
the interviewer.
the only situation where I would have been interviewed, I think everyone wanted to just pretend it never happened, including myself.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know if I've ever had a circumstance like this where somebody is kind of like hiding this type of thing. And then ultimately we find out that they were not disclosing the truth.
Well, but so what was he supposed to do? They didn't show it in the episode. He probably wasn't allowed to say it.
I've thought about this a lot. My question first, do you think that the powers that be told Dwight, this is how you answer this question? Or do you think that Dwight took it upon himself? I kind of feel like that the impulse would be for somebody to do their exit interview. Like, for instance, last season, when Omer gets voted out of the game, Omer had an advantage. He had the idol nullifier, and that was part of his story. It was not shown in the episode. He did not know if the idol nullifier would like if there would be any sort of talk about it in the next episode. He did his exit press. He's like, "Hey, I have a huge piece of news, everybody. I had the idol nullifier." You know, was Dwight asked to not mention this because it was going to come up in the next episode, or
So wait, you think this is Omer's fault? Is that what I'm getting
no.
from
I'm just saying as an example of something that wasn't seen because
no,
I feel like
that's
typically.
Okay, wait, no, but if Omer had given his idol nullifier to Marianne and then left the game, he probably wouldn't be allowed to talk about it because it's still in the game. He took it home with him, so he knew that it wouldn't come up, right? So it's a different example because Dwight's Janine's idol through Dwight stayed in the game with Jesse, and like that is probably going to come up no matter what. I think production probably said, like, you can talk about what has been shown on TV is probably the very specific rule that he was given.
I kind of like, so I could see a scenario where a producer calls him and says, "Hey, just so you know, we're going to reveal what happened with the idol in the next episode. Don't say anything." And if that's the case, look, that's the case. I think that would actually make the most sense because I feel like that the Survivor contestant, and it has been my experience, that they love to tell you what you didn't see actually in the episode was blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, 100%.
They love to spill the tea.
And so do I, and I love hearing it when they do. But yeah, I think it's for sure a PR person said, "Hey, this is what you're allowed to say. This is what you're not allowed to say with regards to the idol." Because the only thing survivors love more than sharing what really happened is having an opportunity to play again and not pissing off production.
Okay. So whatever the reason was, I'm just gonna go back to
so
Dwight.
mad.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Oh my God, that's worse. That's so much worse.
Dwight says, "I didn't say anything that isn't true." Okay, let's revisit.
Let's listen to the quote.
Let's revisit my conversation with Dwight. Okay, it says Dwight says, I didn't say anything that isn't true. All right, so here we go. Let's go back to actually. So I do have some regrets in terms of the exit interview. I was still in DC. It was hard to get my setup correct. But
yeah, you had the
here
wrong mic, right?
I had the wrong microphone, and I also, like, right before the interview started, I hit the so I switched to manual auto adjust lighting, and my lighting is kind of blown out. Okay, so I have regrets too. Okay, all right.
Everyone makes mistakes.
All right, let's just listen into about a minute or so of my conversation with Dwight.
And so, okay, so Janine gives you her idol. Now, can you just confirm that you went out of the game and you had Janine's idol on your person?
She did not get that idol back.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I'll give it to him. Okay, he did not say anything that's not true.
He did not say anything that is not true. He did not answer your question.
He did not directly answer.
Did you
my question,
notice that
but
in the moment, Rob, that he did not answer your question?
I did not think to
Oh, you're too trusting, Rob.
I was too
Oh my
trusting. I did
God.
not think that people like were gonna point blank lie to me on the like. I guess I have to be. It's like interviewing a presidential candidate. Like I think, I'm sorry, Dwight. I need you to confirm. I repeat, did you or did you not leave the game with that idol in your crotch, sir?
I'm just waiting for the exit interview when someone pleads the fifth. That's all we need.
Yeah. Oh, I guess somebody should do that. Like, that could happen. Yeah. All right. But but listen to this next part of the interview.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
How bad did you feel that happened? Or were you only just thinking about like, hey, don't worry about Janine's idol. I'm out of the game.
No, it was genuinely, it felt awful because like she trusted me with the idol. It's like, I can't, like, a lot of my decision making was like, okay, I can't let this idol go out of the game because she trusted.
Okay, so now maybe that speaks to why he gave it to okay. But okay, so maybe he's thinking about I can't let this idol go out of the game. But I don't know. Is this next part true?
Trusted me a lot with this, and I was trying like I also the human in me was just like I just sent home her best friend, so it's like and she trusts me a lot. I have her idol. I don't want to just play it willy nilly just to guarantee. Like to be clear as well, I knew that day 14 was the last breacher, and so for as a fan,
I had her idol. I didn't want to play it willy nilly.
He didn't trust himself not to play it willy-nilly, so he gave it to Jesse.
Yeah, do you think that's what he's saying?
I think we have to read between the lines here. I mean, now that the episode is up, maybe we can get Dwight to do a little bit of a Twitter press conference for us.
Well, here's the thing. I get one bite at the apple with these Survivor exit interviews. They're not going to send Dwight out for a second round of exit interviews after this. This was my one shot to talk to Dwight.
Well, that's why we need him to help us on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's tough because I feel like Dwight was stuck between a rock and a hard place. He wanted to tell you everything, but he also didn't want to piss off production. And so he had to kind of hedge his answers. And you didn't push back. You didn't push and ask for more information.
I didn't think I had to.
Maybe this is on you, Rob.
I guess so. I guess I have to conduct these interviews in a much more of like an interrogation.
You have to be meaner to the Survivor contestants, obviously.
Yeah. I said, did you or did you not, sir?
Yeah, you'll have to do them in person. You have to be able to really interrogate them.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like that he goes on to talk about how that he could have played the idol, like he thought about playing the idol, but he didn't want it. He didn't want to do it. So, I don't know.
So, okay, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I have an idea for you for future exit press. I think you are really good at being the good cop. I think you need to bring in a bad cop to
are
do
you
interviews
volunteering?
with you. Here's the thing. I don't think I'm actually that good at being a bad cop. But I think that you have a deep bench of talent that you could easily pull someone in who's going to be. I feel like Chappelle would be like a sneaky bad cop because you think he's a good cop and then suddenly you're just spilling everything to him. So I mean, Sasha could do anything. You've got options. Like you could definitely bring someone in to really push.
It's tricky because then we do the Big Brother exit interviews, and then the Big Brother exit interviews is live feeds, and so when people like on the Big Brother live feeds, like actually, you didn't really see everything that was happening. It was like, I know, actually, we did. You said blah 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 blah.
Yeah, no, you could literally be like, here's the timestamp on day 46 when you said these things. And I mean, also normally the Big Brother ones, you're normally being like, hey, we saw that you're actually a terrible person and hateful, and we would like to know your response to these things that you've done. And they're like, oh no, I'm a good person. You didn't see all the parts where I'm a good person. So it's just a really different dynamic.
Yeah. So in the Survivors, Ken Rex said, look, you didn't actually see everything. And like you actually won't see everything for like a while. Like they're gonna edit it differently.
We'll never see everything. How often do we hear about stuff that happened years later? And it's like, how did we not know?
We don't know. Okay. Let's take some questions from our listeners about what's happening in the world of Survivor. Okay. Nick Fishman wants to know, is it a good thing when the idols aren't being used in the first half of a season?
I mean, I like to think that idol plays in general are more neutral than good or bad, but when they don't get used early, it means either they're not really going to get used at all, which I think is great, or it means that they're all going to get used at once, and then that is terrifying.
Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see a lot of advantages coming up here at the final 10 when we split into 2 groups of 5.
Oh, I think a lot is going to happen with this split. It's going to just result in like 2 people on the bottom going home probably. I feel like that's what seems to always happen. Like season 41, we thought Evie was really making grounds and had some options, and then it splits into the 2 groups of 5, and they don't have the room to maneuver.
I think got a bad draw. Yeah.
I'm really worried about Owen.
You think Owen
Next
could
week.
potentially
Because it feels like he's just making some strides, and like he voted correctly this time, and like maybe it's looking optimistic, and so then I'm like, oh, so the split into 2 groups of 5 is gonna screw him, and I'm gonna be so sad.
Yep, that certainly could happen. I do think that a Coco is going to go home on this next episode.
So what would the breakdown have to be to make sure that happens?
To make sure it happens, so I think it is one of the groups has 2 or less Coco and does not have Jesse or Cody. Do you think is that probable that we get one group?
I don't know. I mean, I am not a mathematician, so I don't know how likely that is.
I guess so. So basically, if there's 4 and 2, okay, so then I guess there is like a 50-50 chance that it could be 3 and 2. But if it ends up skewing where there's 4 of them on one tribe and the other tribe has only 2 of them, I think that there are chances that one of them could go home.
Okay, I could see that happening.
We're going to get so many emails from people. People are going to be like, when we're trying to do math on the fly.
Okay, well, first of all, I think you and I have both aged out of math, Rob. We've aged out. We don't have to do math anymore. And if people would like math, then I would recommend they go talk to Christian Ubicki. He can help you with that. I am not a math person.
Yeah. Kirsten, do you have any takes about the cast that might be interesting to talk about of these 10 people that are left in the game?
Ooh.
Do you have any unusual takes about these people?
Unusual takes. I mean, I feel like I've been pretty checked out on Twitter, so I don't even know if my takes are unusual.
Good.
I agree.
We're all going to be checked out on Twitter soon.
Yeah, so sad. Where am I supposed to go? It's so sad.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm excited. By the way, I'm excited about it.
You're excited about it.
Yeah. When Twitter, if we wake up tomorrow and Twitter is gone, oh my God.
Yeah, but where am I supposed to go bully people, Rob? I don't understand.
I don't know. What are all the bullies going to do?
Not Mastodon. It's too complicated.
I don't know. I feel like people are going to have to be tuning into this podcast to hear what's going on.
Yeah, but how will they know when the podcast is live? They won't
They'll
have
to be subscribed.
Oh my God. I don't know. I think
I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna party if we wake up at some point in the next couple days.
I'm gonna cry. Like it's like, oh, okay, Kirsten finally reaches 10K followers, and then boom, Twitter's gone. Bye, baby. Like I don't like that. I don't want that.
I don't know.
And yeah, what will happen during Big Brother? Where will we go?
Well, won't it exciting and new?
Like what? Am I gonna have to go to Reddit? I hate Reddit. I don't want to go there.
That's
and
true.
they don't like me either over there.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
It's not good.
Oh
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob's gonna party. Rob's singing. Rob is Jerry O'Connell, but whatever. Someone says I should buy verification. I would never. I will never spend any money to be verified on any website. If people want me to be verified, they should start impersonating me.
Mm-hmm. Yes. What would you do, Kirsten, if you woke up tomorrow and there was a verified Kirsten MacInnis that was out there? That was
Like a fake
yeah.
verified Kirsten MacInnis? Oh, man.
A verified Kirsten MacInnis that was tweeting, "Hey, you know what? 5'7", that's tall enough."
Well, everyone would know it was fake in that moment. I love that that's the first thing you think of like something I obviously would not say.
Yeah, we'd have to go to the metaverse.
Oh, I'm not doing that either.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Go to
man.
VR.
This is listen, if Twitter goes away, everyone, please don't forget to go subscribe at twitch.tv/Kirsten said what. It'll be the only way to get my thoughts.
The only way to hear from you.
There'll
Yeah.
be no other way. I mean, Instagram is there, but I feel like people don't want to go to Instagram. They don't like it.
They're gonna have to. Okay.
I just think I have more of like a face for Twitter, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a face for radio situation.
No. Okay. Look, I think it would be an interesting. It would be a first world problem.
Yeah, but also with really big ramifications in very serious avenues.
Okay. Well, I feel like that maybe this is something that, like, how about this, Kirsten? If and when Twitter goes away, please have me on the Mess Magnets, and I'll be there to party.
I mean, Rob, you're welcome back on Mess Magnets anytime. Wait, I'll ask you right here. Will you come back for a special holiday edition of Oops All Anonymous for the holiday season?
Yes.
Yes. Boom. It was funny. We said we were going to do Oops All Anonymous, and then I was like, wait, but like, we cannot promise Rob is available. We have not spoken with him.
Yeah.
Please.
Let's do it. Okay. Let's dive into a voicemail question. Okay.
Yes.
Danielle has a question for you, Kirsten.
Ooh.
Hey, Rob. I feel like even in the secret scenes, we didn't get a ton of content as to the new name of the merged tribe, the merged sign. And I'm wondering if there could be a way to bring a advantage into the merge naming, maybe having to convince the tribe on a certain name to earn an advantage. What do you all think of this idea, or do you have any other ideas about how the merge naming, merge sign could be a platform for gameplay?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So,
That's
Kirsten,
fun.
do you think that we could put a beware advantage out there of that you must name the tribe a certain name?
Well, okay. And what would the name be? Would it have to be
Preposterous.
like, oh my God, next week we'll get a flashback
Gotta
and
be
it's gonna
sick.
be
Sick
Cody
as
getting
hell.
a beware advantage that says he needs to name the
Yes.
tribe a misspelled word.
If you want this advantage in the game, you must paint the boat a name with a typo.
that could work. I feel like my first thought is it would be really interesting if it's like if you can direct the design in some sort of way, you would get like a fake idol making kit. I feel like that would be fun because it's like you're using your creativity. Now use your creativity in a new way. That could be
I like
fun. That's my first instinct there. Because like if you have to choose a name, so then production just gets to choose the merge name or like push the one that they want. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I guess so. Then maybe what would production try to make the merged tribe name?
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I knew what production wanted actually, because it like they don't make any sense.
I'll tell you. What do you have? What questions do you have?
Okay.
I'll channel them.
So can we talk about the quote negotiation for the rights that happened in this episode? Because that's where
Please.
I'm like the most confused about what production wants.
Okay, which part?
So they say, Jeff says 5 people need to sit out.
Okay, yes, I have that clip. Okay. Yes, of course. We all know about this point in every single season that
Yeah.
always happens, that every Survivor fan knows exactly this.
The established price for this rice in this new era is 5 players.
Yes, the established
That is
price in the new era.
that
This
is
what
Jeff establishing the
always
price.
happens.
So okay, so he says 5. And then I think it was James who says, "Well, what about 4? Can 4 sit out?"
No. We would never take 4.
So, and then Jeff says, "This is the cheapest it will ever be. If you don't do this today, it will cost more tomorrow." Now, in what universe is that a negotiation? There's no negotiating power for the contestants. They don't have any.
Do you want them to have negotiating power?
All I know is Angelina would have had it down to 2 people sitting out if she were there, okay? I think they should, like, if you're not going to frame it, like, if you're not going to come into a negotiation in good faith and actually negotiate, don't call it a negotiation. It's not a negotiation. What they should have done was make it an eat or compete, see how many people sit out to eat, and then at the end, after Owen wins, be like, "Oh, by the way, at this point in the season, here's the bag of rice you get." And then the people who sat out to eat will feel real stupid. I think that would be way more entertaining TV than whatever that was.
So I think that the players maybe lost their leverage in seasons 41 and 42 when they all opted to do it. I think Jeff knows people are going to sit out of the challenge. And so I think at this point, he knows they're going to get to 5 people. So I think if the survivors say, "Hey, look, Ryan caught 21 fish. Okay, we're good. You know what, Jeff? We're going to pass. The next challenge, Jeff's going to be like, "Guys, please, will anybody sit out of this challenge for this bag of rice?
No, next week he's going to say 6 need to sit out.
Will 2 people? Will somebody sit out of the challenge for the first 5 minutes and then go into the challenge, please?" Nobody called his bluff.
I don't know. I don't know if it was a bluff. I feel like you can't call it a negotiation if you're not willing to negotiate. And like Josh in the chat says that, negotiations require that you have to understand what both parties want. Jeff wants good TV. That's what he wants. So
here's what they want. They know they need to give the players rice. Okay. If the survivors, and as Angelina correctly deduced, the production does not want us to die.
That's right.
And so, hey, which I also, not to pat myself on the back because I got voted out of the game, back in Survivor All-Stars that I said, when we got rice in the pre-merge, let's eat all the rice. Because either we'll get more later on in the game or we won't get more. But more other people will come and they will eat this rice if we don't eat it while we are here together. And people said, "We hate you. Go home. Goodbye." But I still say I was right.
I agree. No, I agree completely. Like, they have a legal obligation for you to not starve to death. So eat the food while you have it. I think it's also, you were talking, I think it was with Chanel, about how like fire is not worth as much in this short 26-day game.
Yeah.
And that was her point. And she's been there on one of these short seasons. Maybe rice matters less too. Maybe it's like, it's fine. We don't need it. We'll eat coconuts or
I mean, especially when Ryan is catching 21 fish.
I feel like every time they talked about Ryan and the fish, the number grew. Like next week, they're going to be like, Ryan caught 750 fish. Like, how are there still fish left in the ocean with Ryan out there? It's actually an environmental risk to have him on the beach anymore. Yeah, he is causing problems by overfishing. They have to send him home.
Yeah, it's like Kimmy and Monica Padilla back in Survivor Second Chances.
Yeah, with the crabs.
The clams. Like,
the clams.
Guys, I think we should not do it. And so, Ryan, I mean, he was on one. He was catching one. So yes, I think that would be a fun idea to name the Merge Tribe a certain thing and use that as a way to get people to do the Beware Advantage. I do like that. That is very fun.
Yeah, I think that is a really fun Beware Advantage, and I like it because it's Well, actually, there's a few different ways to have it. They could do it where, that's a beware advantage that is different from other beware advantages. So people are not, as aware that that's what's going on. Or they could put out 3 beware advantages that are like, you have to name the merge tribe
Oh, I
something
love it.
different. And then the 3 people are all fighting for their name. But like, how hard can you fight before it becomes evident that you have like a different task?
I love it. That's really brilliant. That would be such a fun thing to have happen in the show. I think Survivor has never crossed that threshold of like giving people competing missions. Like I feel like Big
Yeah.
Brother Canada has done it. I feel like probably Big Brother UK has done it, where it's like, okay, go inside and try to get everybody to do something, and then somebody else that gets the okay, make sure that the
That they
house
don't
doesn't do
succeed,
this
yeah.
thing. Yeah, that
And
would be fun.
I think that's really fun, and I think it's a better way to do these, beware advantages, because the way they've been done so far, it's just like, "Okay, well, now everyone knows these 3 people have idols." Like,
Mhm.
boo, boring, tomato, 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 do something different,
Yeah.
entertain me.
All right. So something that came up on the podcast that I did with Christian last night, where we were talking about, do people know that Carla has the idol for Coco? And I was sent a secret scene today by the great David Healy that was
Ooh.
from last week that somehow did not get on my radar, where Carla was trying to float to Gabler that Lindsay went out of the game with the Coco idol.
Oh,
What do you think of that?
that is very fun.
Mm-hmm. Will it work?
I hope so, I love Carla.
And what about the fact that it was a secret scene and not in the episode? Does that tell us?
Well, so that's the thing, right? Like, you always have to think, like, when watching Survivor or any of these shows, if you want to try and figure out what's going on, it's the same as reading a mystery novel. Everything that comes up, you have to ask, why are they showing me this, right? So if that happened in the show, it would be like, okay, well, why are they showing me this? Either because it backfires and everyone knows about Carla's idol, or maybe the idol doesn't matter that much, and
Mm-hmm.
this is their explanation for putting it out.
Yeah.
It being a secret scene has me inclined to think that either nobody believes that and they think the idol is still in the game, or Carla's idol is not going to be significant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or maybe Carla plays it for herself at some
Carla
point
doesn't
and
need an idol, okay? She has this on lock. She's
Mhm.
fine.
Okay. Well, Carla is one of the 3 women left standing
Yes.
in the game. We saw Cassidy get very animated in this past episode of, hey, I do not want Janine to go. It's the first time we see it really mentioned on screen that, hey, there have been so many women that have gone out of the game. There's only been 2 men voted out of the game so far. We have to, at some point, start to go after the guys. I asked Janine about this in the exit interview. I asked Janine about, well, like, did you have like a particular bond with Cassidy? And Janine spoke about how that, the women in the game are feeling like, hey, stop voting out all the women.
Yeah, the boot order for this season is absolutely atrocious. It is a horrible thing to see. And but it's also just like so irritating, because
Mhm.
if they were all working together, I mean, you have to make a stand way before there's only 3 women left in the game at the like final 10, 11, 11.
That was the final 11 was the last
Yeah.
vote. Yeah.
So you have to make a stand way before that point. And then if they do work together, everyone online is be like, wow, it's so stupid that they're working together. Everyone knows it doesn't work anyways.
Mhm.
Like, I just don't think you can win.
Yeah. So what I really thought would happen was that, a lot of the women went out in the pre-merge, but then
Mhm.
I kind of felt like, okay, well, but now the pendulum will swing back the other way. Now we'll get to the merge, and now it's like, okay, now we got to start to vote out some of these big, strong guys where the
Yeah.
Ryans, James, and Owen, and, like, okay, we're going to take out the guys and it is going to work itself out. Where now we've gotten to the merge, and now 2 out of the last 3 votes have still been women.
It's so irritating. It is so irritating.
Mhm. Yeah.
I also thought that the pendulum was going to swing back. I thought that Amanda was going to go home this week, and then obviously from that it was like, oh, it'll Ryan will go home. Okay, still not a great boot order, but at least a woman will not go home. I just don't really know. It's the kind of thing where it gets too late now to do anything about it, right? And I think that it could be a feature of the small tribes. I think oftentimes, whether it's true or not, it gets pushed that, oh, women are weak, women can't help us in the challenges, blah, blah, blah. And so when you're in a small 6-person tribe to start, there's not really anywhere to hide or to push. I do think that a better strategy is like, whatever, there's only 6 of us, like it can only go so long, like as long as you feel safe that you'll stick around for a long time, who cares if you win, take out the threats. I think that makes more sense. But then once everyone comes together and it's like, oh, all these women are gone, it gives the men a huge opportunity to continue to vote them out, and it weakens the women's possibility to even work together, right?
Yeah. We had 6 men in a row win from 35 to 40. And then we had 2 women win in a row.
And they don't even know that it's 2 in a row. They didn't see the end
Yeah.
of 42, right?
Yeah,
So they only know one woman won.
I don't know what spoilers might have been out there for season 42. I don't know if players might have potentially. Yeah.
I don't think it was super spoiled.
Yeah. I don't know. So I'm just saying that maybe there's a possibility people might know that a woman won season 42, but probably they don't.
Yeah, but like even if they do, why does it matter? So we can watch men win for however many seasons straight from 35 to 41 and
40.
to 40. Yeah, like 41 obviously first woman winner. And so we can watch that happen forever. And too bad if the women try to work together and everyone just laughs it up about how it doesn't work. And then one woman that they know of, possibly 2, win in a row, and suddenly it's like, vote them all out pre-merge. Don't let them play the game. Like they don't need an opportunity to play. It's bullshit. I'm sorry. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. And I don't think anybody went out there like saying, okay, let's get rid of the women. But I think there were circumstances that led to, a lot of times it was women voting against the other women in the game. But I just wonder, like, what's the point in the season where the women need to say, like, okay, enough. Another woman can't go home.
Well, and that's the thing, is it's hard because they were so separated into these smaller groups where you don't even know if you're going to get along with the women on the other tribes, right? I think that a lot of times alliances that are based specifically on gender don't work out because of the implicit competition that exists even in life. Like it's, part of the patriarchy is that women are pitted against each other all of the time. And so then when you bring them into the game of Survivor, where you are quite literally pitted against everyone else for $1 million, you're incentivized to just be individualistic. And if you don't know if you're going to like those other women, how are you supposed to know?
Do you feel like that now that Janine went home, is it that, okay, well, it will turn now? Or do you feel like that we've reached a point of no return where it's sort of like that we are in like a doom loop where the women are now going to be targeted?
I don't know that they like, I want to be very clear. I don't think anyone is being outwardly targeted because they are a woman. I don't think that it's like everyone's like, oh, voting out all of the women. I think in the small tribes, you're incentivized to vote for challenge strength if you're playing in like a pretty basic manner. And a lot of times people, because of their preconceived notions, will think that women are weaker and can't help. And so that leads to them getting voted out in the pre-merge portion. And then when it all comes together, it's different. So now I've lost track of your question.
Well,
I'm sorry,
it feels
Rob.
like that Noelle is in trouble. It feels like that you easily could imagine a scenario where Noelle goes out of the game.
I mean, I think that we are very likely going to end up with Carla there with majority men is well, everyone except her, basically, I think is going to happen sooner rather than later. And I see these weirdos on Twitter being like, oh, it's Carla's fault that women are going home.
See,
Shut
if
your
it went away, Kirsten, see that you would, I'm telling you, it would be party time.
No, because they would just be on Reddit doing the same thing, Rob. It wouldn't.
Okay, but you don't have to go there. You don't have to go there.
You're right. I like the idea of it's like, oh, we have to go to Twitter as long as it's here. I do like that as well. But like, I don't understand how you can sit here and be like, oh yes, the queer woman who is married to a woman is a pick me for the like. Shut up. Do you understand what you're saying?
You know. Why are we giving stupid people attention?
Well, you're right. I shouldn't give them attention. But also, everyone shut up.
Okay. Let's talk about something else that is very important that we need to talk about. Okay. The survivors, once I saw that the survivors started talking about food, I knew, all right, oh, we're getting the rice negotiations in this episode. And so I know that first, let me see. Sam,
that is a marker in the game that you as a smart viewer noticed.
As a smart player, we know this. Sam, do you still have the link to the CBS TikTok about Carla's dream? I know that I said that it was from the episode, but I think that might be a more visual way to look at that as opposed to me just playing the clip. Carla had a very vivid food dream.
She did.
Now, in Survivor, the Amazon, many of us had very vivid dreams because that was one of the side effects of the malaria medication that we were taking. I don't know I have not talked to a survivor in a while about if they have to still take malaria medication that makes them have very vivid dreams.
I mean, I think that it would be very specific to where they're going.
Yeah. I don't know if they still do that, but that could be one explanation. Okay, so let's go back and I'm going to paste this clip here. And so, okay, we're going to watch a TikTok. Okay. All right. This TikTok is about Carla talking about her dream.
Yes.
I'd love to talk through, Kirsten. Have you ever done dream analysis?
I feel like I've often Googled like dream about flying. What does it mean?
Okay, well, maybe tell me if you can interpret what does Carla's dream actually mean? Okay.
I had a dream. This is gonna sound so stupid. My dreams are wild here. Probst was there. It was like an eating.
All right, Jeff Probst is there.
Jeff is there.
Challenge.
An eating challenge. So I think she's very hungry, and she wants to please Jeff. That's why he's there.
Okay. All right. So she's eating with Jeff.
Eating competition, but it was like a lot of chicken. It was like a lot of chicken. But
all right.
So, okay, you are the chicken connoisseur, Rob. How much chicken is a lot of chicken?
I think this is more chicken connoisseurs than I am, but I would say, I mean, recently, Kirsten, we covered on News AF a Philadelphia man who ate one rotisserie chicken a day for 40 days.
I mean, if you're not eating like that much else food, I feel like that's not outside of. I feel like people eat like half a rotisserie chicken all the time. I don't know. I've never eaten chicken before. I've never eaten meat. I just don't know.
So you earnestly don't know how much would be a lot of chicken.
I don't even is a rotisserie chicken a day a lot of chicken? I don't even know. Because they're pretty small, right?
No, well, I maybe some of them are, but I think that the average rotisserie chicken, your average Costco rotisserie chicken, that's a lot of chicken. I would say on an average day, Kirsten, okay? Fun fact.
Okay.
I would say I eat about 5 ounces of chicken.
Okay. That's like what? Like
a deck of cards, yeah.
Okay.
Not insane. Not an insane amount.
Okay.
Okay. So
it's so wild because I also now have I don't know how big an ounce is.
Mhm.
Because
Oh,
I'm
okay. Well,
Canadian.
yes. Okay. Yes.
I'm metric like Cody, baby.
much like Cody.
You know,
Yeah.
this game I learned today, Jeff, it's a game of centimeters or even less.
Yeah. Cody is playing a game of centimeters. Why is Cody on the metric system?
I mean, because he's civilized. Everyone should be.
Kirsten, is that an expression, a Canadian expression? It's like, do you say about like hockey? It's a game of centimeters?
I mean, I'm sure someone has said that sentence before, but I don't like. I feel like you would hear someone say like, "Oh, it's a game of inches." Like, I feel like you
Game
would
of
hear
inches.
more.
Game of inches. Common euphemism, often used to describe baseball, but
Mhm.
I have not heard it's a game of
Yeah,
centimeters.
I think he chose to go metric, and I don't know why. And
Centimeters are even smaller than inches.
yes, it's 2.5 centimeters to an inch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's a very, very close situation there.
Yeah. So how many grams of chicken do I need to eat to explain it to you?
God.
I had to guess
How
maybe
many
140 grams of chicken.
And
Does
you
that
said you
make-
have about 5 ounces?
Yeah.
So that would be 141 grams.
Oh wow.
That's pretty good. Pretty good
Look at me.
conversion.
Look at me. Okay.
That's not
So,
very much.
that's
Like
what
I
said.
feel like that's quite small.
Yeah. Maybe one meal a day,
Okay.
Anyway. All right. So I'm not going to win immunity here. I'm going to sit out for the rice maybe in this chicken eating competition.
I certainly would not win because I'm pretty sure if I tried to eat meat at this point, I would become violently ill, like
You'd
in
get
The
very sick.
Exorcist. Like
Yeah.
it would not be good.
Okay. All right. So basically, we've never seen this challenge before. Jeff says, all right, it's chicken. Is the chicken rancid maybe?
Oh, no, I don't think I think normally when they do a quote gross food competition, it's because they're insulting like the food of another culture
Yeah. Okay.
rather
How
than
about this?
like making you sick.
All right, here's the Survivor Challenge. Okay, it is a chicken eating contest, but enter hot ones. Okay, this is 90,000 Scoville. This is the hottest chicken that you've ever eaten.
Instead of having to do like eating a massive amount of chicken, it's just the one chip challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever can do it first wins immunity.
This it's a chicken challenge. All right, good. I hope you're hungry. All right, here we go. Like, do you see all this chicken? Like, oh, it looks good. All right. Have you ever heard of a ghost pepper?
Oh my God. Wait, I have another chicken related question.
Yes.
So we saw back in Korong a medevac due to eating a lot of red meat.
Mhm.
Would chicken have the same type of risk associated if you eat too much?
Boy, I don't know. I have not found the chicken. I don't know if it's especially like binding. I don't know what the Joe Del Campo's issue is. I think that Joe Del Campo had maybe similar to you. He had not eaten red meat, I think, in a very long time.
Okay.
Even though it was very tender beef. Yes. Okay. All right.
Fair enough.
So
sorry, I'm just trying to understand the meat eaters of the world.
yes. Okay. Bill says bring Jack Harlow out to test the Hot Ones Chicken Challenge.
He has an open invite, so it could
Has he been
work.
on Hot Ones?
I'm sure that he has been. My favorite Hot Ones is when Lord was on because
Mhm.
she literally was just like she was on like the hottest wing and was just like having a conversation as if she was eating nothing at all.
Who
It
was on it
incredible.
recently that made a lot of news? That people were. Let me see. There was somebody that was very recently on it that they were like, "We stan."
Was it Emma Chamberlain?
Maybe I think Kate Blanchett. Kate Blanchett was the one that recently got a lot of attention.
Okay.
Okay, but get Carla on. Let's see. Who'll be the first survivor on Hot Ones?
Oh, that is a good question. I mean,
Mhm.
Mike White, right?
Mike White would be good. By the way, the spicy chicken immunity challenge is brilliant.
This is a great idea. I think we've had
Put it on the
nothing-
wheel.
Yeah,
Put
we've
it on the
had
wheel.
nothing but incredible ideas this entire episode. This podcast is sick as hell, and production should be listening.
Yes, so much like when Joe Del Campo had the tender beef. Yes. Mike White on Hot Ones. Yes. Yes to that also. Maybe Jeff Probst is going to pop on Hot Ones. You know,
I
he
mean, that would
popped
be
up
fun.
on the Lord of the Rings podcast. He was on SNL.
Wait. I must have missed something. He was on a Lord of the Rings podcast?
Yeah, he was on a podcast. I've been somebody in the chat could tell me what the name of it is with Dominic Monaghan and another guy.
Listen, I don't need to know anymore. Lord of the Rings is not for me.
It's not. I don't think they only talk about. It's like something best friends podcast.
Best friends is Nicole Byer and
I know. I'm sounding like an old guy right now. I don't know the name of this podcast that Jeff Probst went on.
I'm looking up.
Just get him on the Friendship Onion podcast. Mm-hmm.
I would much rather Jeff Probst go on Best Friends, but I don't know if Jeff has a best friend.
I don't know.
Tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Best Friends is good. They do a newlywed style type thing where they question the two best friends on a bunch of questions and then they see if they get the answers the same. But one of the questions is always which of you would do better on the TV show Survivor.
Oh.
And neither of the hosts watch Survivor or know how Survivor works or what it is. So it's always really funny. Every time I ask, they're like, and sometimes the guest knows, and sometimes the guest is like, I'm not good at sailing a boat, so I would be bad on Survivor. And
Preposterous. Yeah.
It's preposterous.
Eric Meyer says Survivor Guy is Jeff's best friend.
No, Survivor Guy is Jeff. It's like his spirit. If that's his best friend, that's a problem. That's sad.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to Carla's dream.
Yes.
Remember, Carla was having a dream. Okay.
About a lot of chicken.
And it was wild.
And Jeff
wild.
Probst was there.
But then Probst was like, I'm hungry. And I was like, here, you can have some of mine. And then
I think I could hear that, and I don't think you could. Okay.
I could hear that.
You heard that? You heard that? Carla said, are you hungry? You can have some of mine. Okay, which I don't even know why Jeff has chicken in the challenge.
Jeff was hungry, and she offered hers.
Jeff is showing off, maybe. You think like, this chicken is 90,000 Scoville. Watch me.
Well, I think we've invented the chicken being spicy. There was nothing about spice level in the dream.
Well, then I don't really know what this challenge is.
So I think it's just a challenge of who. It's like, probably one of those ones where it's like
Joey Chestnut.
Oh yeah, didn't they do where like they had to like tear the meat off the animal?
Oh yeah, I did that.
They where you like it gets weighed and then it's like whoever eats.
So you think the survivors had their hands tied behind their back and there was just like rotisserie?
Yes.
There was like maybe the chicken is spinning on a rotisserie.
Yeah,
that's what makes it very difficult.
Each person was weighed before the challenge, and then they had to eat the chicken, kind of bobbing for chicken off of a rotisserie, and then at the end they get weighed, and whoever ate the most chicken wins the challenge.
And the rotisserie is spinning, so it makes it very difficult to.
Exactly, you're getting in there.
Yeah. Okay. And Jeff's like, let me show you how it's done.
Jeff's like, I'm hungry. And she says, you can have some of mine. So kind.
To make ramen.
Okay, hold on. So who's making ramen in the dream?
Jeff.
Okay,
Jeff made ramen. So Jeff was hungry. Carla offered him chicken. He didn't want chicken. He wanted ramen. So he made ramen really quick. Hopefully good ramen and not like
does Jeff have a hot pot ready to go? Okay. Let me just hear this back one more time.
Okay.
To make ramen. Ramen, and that's his lunch. And he proceeds to like get in the middle of all of us, kind of like crowd surf. What? And he's like, all right, selfie time, picture time. And I'm like, this is the weirdest thing ever.
Okay, now is this actually weirder than anything that's ever happened on Survivor with Jeff?
I think that the only thing weirder is his like encounter with Survivor Guy in the wilderness, but we didn't see that on the show.
Could you imagine? Okay, the survivors are lined up for the challenge. It's day 16. The survivors are famished. Okay, in addition to it being a chicken challenge, Jeff crowd surfs on the survivors.
And then
he
takes
basically.
a selfie.
Yeah, but I don't know. Is he on a platform and then he jumps down and then has them all hold them up and then he's got a phone to be able to like.
I mean, the alternative is that he's like, "Hey, pick me up so I can crowd surf," which I feel like is just so embarrassing.
I kind of feel like that Jeff taking a selfie is less weird than when Jeff used to talk directly to camera.
Yeah, the talking directly to the camera was deeply unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know Jeff well enough to look him in the eyes like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's asking in the chat, did you all get dislocated jaws when you had to tear the meat off the cow?
No, I didn't get a dislocated jaw. I don't think anybody did. The horrible part of doing that challenge for me was that it was probably around like the same time in the game. It was probably like day 16. And we basically were when they bring you to the challenges on Survivor, at least this is how it was 20 years ago. Like but now everything is very much on the level. But back then they were just figuring things out. So they transport you from the challenge and you get in a boat. You're in a little rowboat. Okay. Preposterous, I know. And then you row your boat, and then you get in a big boat. And you go in a big boat and you go down the river. And the big boat is like you're in the bottom of the boat, and the windows are all blacked out because there's like looky-loos that are trying to spoil the Survivor season. Again, I don't even know if that still happens or if they care about that. So it's roughly like 115 degrees and 100% humidity, and you're in the bottom of a boat, and just like already like disgusting. Okay, you're sick to your stomach, and then they have like this 200-pound slab of beef that I can only imagine was cooked with somebody had like a blowtorch and was able to like cook the outside of this meat, and then it was completely raw on the inside. Okay. Also, let me repeat, about 115 degrees in the Amazon jungle. And there's like this horrible barbecue sauce. Again, not super spicy, but not great. Okay. And you do the thing. And I just like, I deeply regret, I had a shirt on. I guess I had to wear a shirt because I think we were probably mic'd up, but then we did this challenge, and it was like disgusting. You got through. At first, it was like, "Oh, we're eating something," but then you got through like the crust.
You had to like spit it out too, right? Onto the thing. Yeah.
I guess you could, if you
You
wanted
could
to
sneakily
ingest it.
eat a little bit, but then you don't win the reward. Well, and wasn't the reward just eating all of the gross
I think you got to
meat
keep
pulled
all.
off of it? Yeah.
I think you got to keep all
That's
of them.
what
And
I
we
remember.
lost. We lost. I don't really remember. Yeah.
I remember that challenge is because it's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry you went through that.
It was really, the worst challenge. But then like once you got through like the part that was cooked, then you got to the part where now it's like, now my face is in like raw meat.
No.
And it was not fun. It was very gross. And then on top of that, we lost, so add insult to injury. But then my shirt, like the rest of the game, like is like a big stain on it, and you could like your sense of smell is heightened because you're on Survivor, and then I would just like catch a whiff of like the barbecue, and I was like want to get sick because it was terrible,
disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was unpleasant. It was unpleasant.
Look, but so would it work for chicken on a
good with the bad. I actually think the rotisserie would and the meat was just like swinging on a hook, so you couldn't really, and your hands were tied behind your back, so you would like, you could try to get in there, but then the thing would swing, and so you had to kind of like work together with like another person to do it. I think they did it in South Pacific also, that challenge. I don't know if they brought it back since. And honestly, like during COVID,
COVID killed that challenge.
Yeah. But I like this rotisserie idea is interesting to me because it's kind of got like the mini golf course element to that the chicken is spinning.
Yes.
Yeah, and maybe the other tribe is that it's like, because Survivor isn't going to have like a motorized rotisserie. Maybe the other tribe is spinning the crank. So,
like you can send one person to spin the crank for the other tribe, and you have to balance.
The crank is really hard to spin.
Like maybe the strongest person who could do the crank would also be the best at eating the rotisserie chicken. So you really have to do a cost-benefit analysis of who you send over.
So I think there's a lot here. There's a lot here that we can use to fix this. Okay. So, all right. So the survivors are talking about food. Carla, open the floodgates. All right. Survivors are talking about food. All right. Now, Gabler, he also is really missing food. And you can tell because Gabler has lost a lot of weight.
I had a muffin top coming out here.
Gabler had a muffin top.
Don't we all? Gabler said also, though, he was like, I just think eating is a luxury, so like it's fine. And I never want to be like, oh yes, eating is a luxury.
Yeah, don't take it for granted. Okay. So one no more muffin top for Gabler.
No, I mean, his pants are like hanging off of him.
Are people still using the term muffin top?
I mean, they shouldn't be. I think it's just one of those. I don't know. I mean, he is talking about his own body, but I just think that like nobody should ever comment about anyone else's body ever. Like, don't perceive it. Don't comment on. Just it's not.
I mean, he was only talking about his own, muffin
which
top.
is like, if he said someone else had a muffin top, then I'd be like, okay, get me my pitchfork. Gabler's gotta go. But yeah, he's only talking about himself, but also like, Gabler, be nicer to yourself. Like, it's fine. I don't know. My muffin top is between me and God, so I can't relate.
Okay. So, all right, that's what Gabler has going on. Now, listen, Sammy, he is also hungry. Okay. Sammy is hungry.
And do you think he's high also?
Well, maybe that. Well, you tell me. You tell me, because this is. Listen to this. Listen to Sammy's crazy plans for a meal.
Wildest things I've ever heard in my life.
Wild. Okay, listen to this.
I want to eat everything from every one of the menu, like an appetizer, a regular entree, and then a dessert. Because I never do that.
Oh no, I was thinking. Yeah, I know.
I'm being facetious. That we'll talk about Ryan next, but listen to Sammy. Sammy is going to go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
And he's going to get an appetizer, and then he's going to order a regular entree. And then on top of that,
and a dessert. I think that Sammy could avoid all this by just going to the old spaghetti factory and getting the meal where you get the soup, pasta, and then spumoni ice cream at the end.
Yeah, Sammy, that's preposterous. Slow down, bro.
I was thinking of Ryan's when you said that, obviously. I mean, Sammy's young. I feel like, when you were that age, were you going to the restaurant and ordering 3 courses? No, you were probably ordering like, okay, what's the most carbs I can get for the least amount of money, and then a bunch of shots. Like, let's be real.
Right. That I think.
I guess he's 19. He wouldn't be able to drink in America. Pfft.
Yeah. So sad. Yeah, maybe I think maybe for financial reasons, like I would not have been able to afford to get an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. But I'm sure I went to a restaurant with my parents and got an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert.
I mean, I feel like I'm judging, but it's listen, I go to a restaurant and most of the time I'm just getting like a main and then I'm leaving.
Ooh.
So
I would say even better, just all apps, no main.
All appies.
How about that?
That is a move as well. I love like a table fries or a table like bread of some kind, some nachos. Like you could do that. You could definitely get away with that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's talk about Ryan.
Yeah. Now this is the one where like, is Ryan high?
I don't know what's gone on here with Ryan, but maybe I think that maybe it's time to bring in maybe the medical staff on Ryan, because I'm not sure if he's okay.
Like, and he's eating the most of anyone. He shouldn't be this hungry.
Here's what Ryan said he wanted to do.
I'm gonna order the pepperoni stuffed crust, right? I'm gonna get 2 of those.
All right, 2 pepperoni stuffed crust pizzas.
Now, do you think so? Pizza Hut only offers the stuffed crust on a medium or a large pizza. Do you think he's getting large or medium stuffed crusts?
I think it's large. I think
and 2 large stuffed crusts.
2 large pepperoni stuffed crust. Okay.
Oh my god!
But that's not all. Okay, that's step 1. Okay, so you get your 2 pepperoni stuffed crust pizzas. Okay,
that's pretty normal.
All right. I mean, if you had 5 friends coming over, I think that'd be normal. Okay.
Well, I mean, normal for like a fantasy about food when you're really hungry.
Maybe one pizza.
I don't know. I think if I'm starving, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I could totally eat 2 of those.
Okay. All right. After that, okay, take the 2 pepperoni, stuffed crust pizza.
Mhm.
And then what are you gonna do next, Ryan?
And then I'm gonna pick up a few really good burritos.
A few really good burritos. Like how many burritos is a few?
Well, so a few to me indicates more than 2. You would say a couple if it was 2.
couple.
A few is 3 to 6.
I could almost see a few tacos before I could see a few
You
burritos.
I feel like typically one burrito tends to get the job done. You don't really need multiple burritos
Yeah.
in general. It's normally tacos come in 3s. You normally get a few tacos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. A few burritos. We already started with 2 stuffed crust pepperoni pizzas. Okay. Imagine that. Okay. So it's like we're like this high on pizza, and then we've added a few burritos.
So I'm assuming that it's like the burritos are going in a row, not on top of each other.
I don't know how you would do it. That's a challenge in itself. Maybe just like maybe are you opening the burrito? Because I feel like that if you open a burrito, it's kind of like another pizza. Why does the burrito need to be sealed?
Listen,
if
I
we're
would-
putting it inside of a pizza.
I would say a burrito and pizza are both sandwiches, so you're not wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we've got 2 stuffed crust pepperoni pizzas.
Yes.
And then we've got a few
burritos.
A few burritos. And then
those are gonna get wrapped with the pizza.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Wrap the pizza around the burrito. And like
Cody was like, not for me.
Like truly, what is the mouth feel of that? Like it's like you can't take a bite and get both foods in one bite. And like the human mouth can only that's how you get a dislocated jaw, you know?
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much, Ryan. That slow down, okay? You don't have
to pace yourself.
You can only eat so much food at once. And take it from somebody who actually spent 38 days in a Survivor season. And
Okay.
I
Don't
mean to
act
flex. I mean
this,
to flex.
Rob. Don't be like, oh, well, when I played Survivor, it was longer than 26 days.
I'm just saying I have been there. I can empathize to what you're going through for sure. But I think that just, eat for as long as you want. You don't need to. You're not on a timer of like you need to eat everything in 2 minutes.
I think actually you probably should start slow if you haven't been eating much,
Right. Start slow, or guess what's going to happen to you, okay?
The Joe Del Campo
It's going to be dope, bro.
Nope.
I just want it to look sick as hell.
You'll be sick as hell.
You're right. You'll be sick as hell.
You'll be sick as hell, okay? So go slow and steady, Ryan. Get the pizzas. Get the burritos.
Have the pizza for lunch and a burrito for dinner.
Yeah, or I mean, just go take it from me. Trust me, Ryan. Take that pizza one slice at a time.
Yes, one slice is always a good way to do it.
One slice at a time. Now, maybe is he not going to finish it? Maybe it's just like, okay, I am looking. He's invented something new. Where imagine this. He's got the pizzas. He's opened the burritos. He put the burritos in there and he closes it up. And maybe he's just going to cut like a slice of this.
Oh, like a log roll situation.
Yes.
Oh, people are saying in the chat that it is like some sort of SNL skit.
Yeah,
called
I've seen
Taco
that.
Town.
I've a few people were tweeting about that. Yeah.
I could never perceive, so I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see, Ryan. Ryan, if this happened, I hope you filmed videos. I want to see it.
I just hope Ryan is doing amazing. I want nothing but the best for him. He's again, as Steven said, too pure for this game.
Okay. Speaking of too pure for this game, let's talk about another person who is thinking a lot about his position in the game. That's Owen.
Yes,
okay.
Of course.
Owen, he works at a college. He works with trying to get the students into the college, and he's been thinking about that. And he's been thinking about it in terms of his place in the game and how he feels like his college application stacks up. Okay.
Exactly.
Kirsten, tell us if you think Owen is doing okay.
Okay, let's hear.
If making Final Tribal is getting into college, right now my transcript is sorry. I have a 1.7 GPA right now. My extracurriculars are in the toilet. I've got no recommendations. Nobody has anything good to say about me right now.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Owen, please be nicer to my friend Owen, first of all.
Yeah. Would you write a college recommendation for Owen?
I would absolutely write a recommendation for Owen. I don't think that he would need mine. I think in the real world, he has a lot of people lined up to write that before it would fall to me. But absolutely, I would write Owen a note.
Yeah. I don't really think you need that good of a resume to get into the final three. You might need a resume to win the game, but he's worried about like that he won't even get like the final three is like his school. He won't get in because his resume is not that good.
I think he needs to
Oh,
look
and
at
can
it
you
more
make a
like
fire? Yeah.
I think it needs to be more like winning is getting into college, and so his transcript's not the best, but like he'll still graduate.
Yeah, C's get degrees, my friend.
Yeah, but you have to get in
C's
before
get
you
the final
get the
threes.
degree.
Yeah.
C's. I love that. That's perfect.
Yeah. So look, final threes, they'll take anybody.
I would love to one day be there. Should I apply to Survivor, Rob?
Do you want to do Survivor? I feel like let's just talk this through. I mean, obviously, you're going to be great television. To me, though, I feel like it is not your forte. I mean, but I feel like that you have camped, right?
No.
No.
So okay, here's the thing. Here's my thought process. I would either be really great TV for the one episode that I was on, or I would like develop as a person and become an outdoor cat. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's to me, I feel like it's not you.
Yeah. See, that's how I feel too.
And I don't mean that in an insulting way.
Oh no, I don't take it as an insult at all. Maybe
Have
I'll
you thought
do it
about
anyway.
Big Brother?
I have considered Big Brother. I don't think it's gonna work out.
Okay. Yeah. What about the mole? What about let's go outside the box.
The mole. Okay.
I think that would be good.
That could be a good fit for me. What's okay?
You're good at mafia.
Am I? I feel like I get caught a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The nice thing about the mole is that no one would know me, so they would at least maybe not realize that I'm horrible.
Yeah. I think there's upside. Let's see.
I'll consider it. it.
All right. How about a question from let's see. Jill Robinson said, with Jesse having Janine's idol and not telling anyone about the fact he has me thinking, what's the best non-elimination secret in modern day Survivor? Can you think of anything?
Elimination secret.
Has Survivor done a good job of like giving us secrets?
I feel like they don't really do this a lot. I feel like, and even with this, they exposed it instantly at the start of the next episode. Like all I can think of when I think of stuff like this is like The Genius, obviously, where they give you like the rewind and play.
How come I like that in The Genius and I don't like it here? Can you explain that? Can you like on the couch, Kirsten? Can you help me understand this cognitive dissonance?
First of all, how does that make you feel, Rob, if we're doing therapy?
Boy, it makes me feel a little hypocritical because I kind of feel like that when it would come up on The Genius, like I felt like it was a very like cool thing to say, like, see, The Genius does stuff like this. Why doesn't Survivor do stuff like this? Now, Survivor doesn't have like a cool Moby song to play when that happens.
So, okay. My perspective on this, Rob, is that you watched not even all 4 seasons of The Genius, correct?
2. Yes.
You watched 2 seasons of The Genius, and from the first episode of The Genius season 1, they have those kind of flashbacks baked
Right.
into the
It's
show.
part of the show.
It becomes an expectation. You've watched 42 seasons of Survivor and not
Right.
seen this before, so it's new and scary to you.
Right. You're right. You're so right. And Survivor is treating it like we actually do things like this all the time. We
Okay,
play with
this
the
show
edit.
is
And I'm like,
gaslighting us.
since when?
They are gaslighting us so hard at all times. They're like, oh, everyone knows we do rice at this point. Everyone knows it's 5 people. Blah blah. No, stop it. This is not normal, and I am not going to sit here and act like it is. They can't treat us this way.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think we got to the bottom of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we were able to work through it for you.
Okay. All right. Then, yeah. And Bill says to do it over the course of an episode is pretty extra. Yeah. If it happened all in the same episode, I could live with it.
I think it would have been more impactful if it either happened in the same episode or happened like way later. And then it's like 4 episodes from now and we're finding out about it and it's being used at like the last opportunity.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm neutral on it though. I don't know. I think I think stuff matters less to me, Rob, than it does to you.
Oh, interesting. Like in terms of Survivor or just
Well,
in general?
definitely Survivor because it's like the basis of your career. So it just matters more to you. So it's harder to not care.
Okay. I got a question here from the chat from D. Dinush says, do you think that Jesse could get himself 2 idols by blindsiding Cody in the split? We haven't seen it give it back to him yet. I saw a lot of people wondering about like, hey, we didn't see Owen give it back the vote split, the extra vote. That I feel like that because we didn't see anything, and now again, I'm getting myself into trouble here because I'm assuming that because we didn't see it, like it wasn't important and they just didn't show it to us.
Yeah, I think. But did Jesse mention in the confessional that he also had Cody's?
He still had Cody's idol, but as Christian said last night, yeah, give that back to Cody because you don't want to catch a rogue blindside because like, oh, he's holding Cody's idol. Get him out of here.
Yeah, that's true. I will say it would be very iconic if Jesse blindsided Cody and took his idol in the next episode. That would be chef's kiss perfection.
Yeah. All right. Kirsten, do you have a pick for the winner of this season?
Well, my preseason pick was Owen, and I'm not ready to give up hope yet. But if it's not Owen, I hope it's Carla.
Owen really needs to go on a run here.
Yeah, I have a Survivor pool with some coworkers, and so they, in general, do not consume reality TV in the same way that we all do. But one of them has become like a kind of a super fan of the podcast, Rob. So hi, Sunday.
Yeah.
I know you're watching. But they watch the show in a very different way, and the perception is that Owen's not doing anything.
Owen's not doing anything. According to
the people that watch Survivor a little bit differently than we do in this
I do wonder, like, if we were going to like track like Owen's edit, you compared Owen and his position to Evie and their position in 41.
And I don't know if that's like accurate because I think Evie had a lot more agency at the start that we were shown.
Yes.
But I also just think the edits have changed so much since Chris Underwood's win that it's hard to really read anymore, like because they can build a winner's story in one episode and they want to surprise us.
Yes, they certainly could do that, but if Owen went out in this 5-5 split, like I feel like it would be a comparable edit to like the amount of screen time Evie got where you felt like you really knew Evie. Owen really has gotten a lot of airtime, has been a narrator in the course of the season. So I am concerned about him as I have been all through. I don't know how you couldn't be throughout this post-merge.
Yeah, I've been worried. And it's also, you just also get more worried when it's someone that you know, even if it's only a little bit.
Yeah. Do you have one person that you think from in terms of like what you're seeing on the show that you think would be the person that if you went to someplace where they let you bet on Survivor?
Ooh, I think I would bet on Carla. I really do.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me being like, that's the only thing that could make up for the horrible boot order. But I do think I just think she's got the sauce. I don't know.
She's got the sauce. She's very good. She's very a very good player at the game. I wonder, we've seen in these seasons where you have people who, like Ricard and Omer and among others that, the people that, were controlling things, but then didn't get all the way there. Like,
I think that's Jesse.
Somebody that could be Jesse too. Yeah.
I think that's Jesse. And I think that's specifically because of how the idol stuff with Janine was shown. Like, I feel like they could have shown him in a much more strategic light if they wanted that to be like, look how good he is. But then maybe that's an argument that he wins. I don't know.
Here's a fun question for you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. I think this has been a minute since we talked about this. All right. Jill Robinson wants to know who might get the Sia money. Who's the front runner right now to get that sweet Sia money?
Okay. Well, I think Cassidy made a run for it in this episode.
Interesting.
Bringing up the boot order and wanting the women to stick together.
However, but we have not really seen that be something that was very important to Sia.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we haven't really seen anything about any other causes.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see Gabler getting it actually.
Yes, I think that's the right
Gabler's the
answer.
pick. Yeah,
that's the right
never
answer.
mind. I take it back. It's Gabler for sure.
It's Gabler. Gabler, I think is pole position to get that sweet Sia money.
If we could bet on who was gonna get Sia money, I'd be like, yeah, it's Gabler.
This next minute's for Sia. I love Chandelier. It's a great bop.
Oh my
God. I love it. It's awesome.
I'm horrified right now.
Horrified. This next minute's for Vancouver. It's a beautiful city.
If he's not dedicating a minute to my social media, I don't care.
Yeah. Okay. This next minute's for Mess Magnets. That show again tells me everything I need to know about what's happening in pop culture. I love it so much.
Iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
This is so unserious.
This next minute's for BoJack Horsepod. I know it wrapped, but it's very good.
So
Lindsay
funny.
Wilson is incredible.
Here she is.
So is Kirsten.
Oh.
This next minute is for Tula and Birdie. Very, very underrated show.
This is too. We have to stop. I'm sorry. This is too much.
This next minute is for the Hot Dummies on Islands podcast feed. Okay,
I could get a lot of minutes from Gabler if he plugged all my podcasts.
Gabler could just do all the plugs at the end of the podcast.
my
Can you
God.
imagine that? I mean,
at
RIP when Mike Bloom comes on, but
I mean, at some point, when the season ends at the very latest, you will get an interview with Gabler, and you could ask him to do some plugs for you.
maybe the whole exit interview will be like, this next minute is, and then you could do all the plugs. This next minute is for the Real Love Boat, not canceled. It's just on Paramount Plus. It's very good. It's a very good streaming site.
Oh my God.
Okay. Kirsten, anything else, Survivor, that you want to talk about on your list?
Okay. Let me just make sure before we leave. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta check. Let me check my Twitter responses to see when I said that this one is going to be sick.
Talked about that.
Yeah. Okay.
We have covered. Okay, wait. Actually, I haven't noticed. Has Gabler been calling them a wolf pack this whole time, and I just missed it?
No, I think that's new.
He said
Okay.
the wolf pack is hungry.
Yes, the wolf pack is hungry. I don't think he's talking about my friends at NC State, and the wolf pack is hungry.
They're hungry.
Okay.
That's the only other thing that was on my list.
This next minute is to my muffin top. R.I.P. It's gone.
Next minute's for the wolf pack, obviously.
This next minute is not for Ellie. I still do not care for her.
The slander for Ellie. Oh man.
Okay. All right. Well, Kirsten, I had so much fun tonight. I don't know about you.
No, I had a great time. I think that this podcast was Sick as hell.
Sick as hell. We put something out there. We pre-claimed.
Yes,
Literally, we did
we
pre-claim.
literally pre-claimed.
We pre-claimed at the top of the show that this podcast was going to be sick as hell, and I think we delivered.
Listen, manifestation works, Rob. Last night I went to music bingo, and I have never won a bingo before.
Tell me
in
about
my
music
life.
bingo.
So they play songs, and then you have to know what the song is, and you dab it on your bingo card because it has the song titles and artists. And I've never won a bingo in anything in my life. And I came in last night and said, I'm a lucky girl. Lucky girls win bingo. And I just kept saying that whenever anything happened. And then I won the first bingo of the night.
What happens if you don't know the song and then it was up there? Do they put it up on the board? Yeah.
They don't put it up on the board, but you are allowed to use like Shazam if you need.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then did any Sia songs come up?
No, they only did a 60s and 70s card and then an 80s card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds very fun.
It is a very fun night out. Rob, if you ever come to the Pacific Northwest, you can come to Music Bingo.
Could Survivor do a bingo challenge, Kirsten? Can we workshop that one? We did the chicken challenge.
Okay, bingo. Have they? Okay,
and of course that we cover the Real Love Boat with our friend Jenny Autumn, and of course, Bingo Ball Boy Jerry O'Connell, friend of the pod, is doing that.
So, okay, wait. I am foggy. My Survivor history is not as strong, obviously, as yours. Have they ever done like a tic-tac-toe type of thing? Where you have to like move like big things, maybe?
Well, I think that they've done it with like slingshot.
Okay.
I think that they've sort of like I think they've done some version, whether it was like tic-tac-toe or Connect Four. Let's see.
Okay, so that doesn't really work as well. I think that what if it's bingo, but it's of like Survivor experiences? Like you get the card at the start of the season, and then it's like you can hit a spot when like
Get an idol.
you get an idol. What if Jeff asks you to make some sort of like comparison at tribal council? If you know like who has something, and then the first person to get a bingo gets a immunity idol.
I feel like that's kind of like fire tokens. No, I feel like.
I mean, is it like fire tokens?
I don't know.
Or did we not really see what fire tokens were supposed to be?
Yeah.
I mean, that could have been a fun twist. When they did the Edge of Extinction, the people on the edge are playing bingo about like who goes home and different things that happen in the game. And if you win bingo, you go back into the game.
Yeah. I don't know if you can get Jeff that excited for bingo.
I feel like Jeff gets excited about stuff that doesn't make sense all the time.
Okay, add bingo to the list.
Just get like Tyler Perry to tell him about it.
Okay. Kirsten, I know that Gabler plugged a lot of your stuff.
Yes, he did.
Okay. Anything else that Gabler didn't know about?
So this week I did guest on a podcast called Buffy Boyfriends, where Sam Stanish and his boyfriend Mike are watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Had a really fun time. And this upcoming week, I am going to be on the 90 Day Fiance wrap up with Puya.
Okay. Well, you're always fun there. This next minute's for Puya.
Honestly, yes, Puya does deserve the minutes. And obviously, follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What, including twitch.tv/Kirsten Said What.
Okay. Of course, check out our recap of The Real Love Boat. We talked about not just episode 5, but episode 5 and 6. Supersized recap of The Real Love Boat for everybody. Then also, Amazing Race recap is up with Jess and Mike. Also, we've got a brand new Renap coming up this weekend. Renap number 199. It's called Wheel or No Wheel 2. And Mike Bloom is going to join us to host a brand new version of Wheel or No Wheel. Find out if it worked on the next Renap. And Kirsten, I think that, you were leading a movement on social media today.
I was.
Yes, of people pushing us to talk about Lindsay Lohan's Christmas Adventure
I
on
was.
Netflix.
Okay, so here's the thing, and I'm not trying to be on it or anything like that. I want to be very clear. People have been talking about this movie for like 6 months. You have to jump on it and strike while the iron is hot. I know you don't want to talk about Christmas because it's still November, but like,
if it's the number one thing on Netflix, I like to talk about whatever's hot on Netflix.
But it's like, what? You're gonna be the one person like, oh no, we'll just wait a couple of weeks. No, you gotta watch it.
Look, I'll talk about it if it's hot. Okay. And I apologize. yes, Scott St. Pierre was standing by to tell us about the Survivor podcast feed. Okay, of course, all of my Survivor podcaster friends are back this week, and so check out everything else that's going on, including the B&B, including Survivor Global. Find out why Janine lost, because that was kind of unfair. The stock watch is already up, and Bryce and Wendell will be back, coming off of another great Bryce and Wen presents in Boston. So check that out in our Survivor podcast feed. All right. Not to mention the Amazing Race was back. Amazing Race season also sneakily going to wrap up pretty soon. Probably the week before we get to Survivor. Okay. Episode 8. I got an Amazing Race exit interview as well with the most recently eliminated team. I won't say who it is. No spoilers. No spoils for that. Of course, the Real Love Boat episode 5 and 6 had a lot of fun on that one. Kirsten, I feel like we should be getting more feedback from the listeners about the Real Love Boat recaps.
I agree. I feel like all we see is I listen to this and I don't watch the show. But like, what do you like about it? What are your favorite parts? What would you love to hear?
If you had fun here tonight, you're gonna love the Real Love Boat.
Oh man, we have so much, like, there is such a rare opportunity for me, you and Jenny to be talking about anything. Like, it just isn't something that comes up that much. And it has been such a joy. We're all having a great time. And I think it really shines through on the podcast.
Okay. And then, of course, Kirsten and Sasha talking about Selena Gomez. Great name.
I joined the call and I said, "Tell me I'm not allowed to call it Selena Gomez," and she said, "No, you can. You can."
Okay, check that out. And then, Love Is Blind finale reunion recap. Didn't even talk about this one. Omer is going to be on with Asia and Mary to talk.
And
about
it's going to be messy.
Love Is Blind. Yeah, it's going to be very messy.
When Omer's
Find
there.
out what Omer thinks about all of this on the Love Is Blind finale reunion recap, and then on Tuesday night. For the patrons, 100 patron casts.
Wow.
Can you believe it? I'll be live on Tuesday night to talk about our patron cast episode number 100. The plan is we're going to try to do Family Feud at 6 and patron cast at 7 and make it a special night. 100 patron casts. If you're a patron of Robin's podcast, I'll send out the link so you can join us live. I'll take your questions. Survivor, RHAP, Amazing Race, whatever you want to talk about. Take your questions coming up on Tuesday night. All right. And make sure you're subscribed to our podcast feed. At robhaswebsite.com/subscribe. All right. That's going to do it for us here tonight on the Feedback Show. Hope everybody has a great weekend. I also have a podcast coming up. Scott Porter of Friday Night Lights. I had the chance to talk with him earlier today. We'll get that podcast out for you over the weekend as well. He's got a brand new Friday Night Lights rewatch podcast coming out. And so he's a big Survivor fan. We got to catch up and see what he's thinking about this season. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.